Good morning, reflectors.
Good morning.
Welcome and welcome back to Morning Intentions. Today is Friday, June 26th. Thank you so much for joining us today, this week, and for this month of curiosity and the art of enjoying life. As Annette has mentioned, this is the last day of the theme. Normally, it's kind of crazy that we're at the point where we don't have to start a theme on the first day of the month.
We're not so rigid.
No, we're not, nor do we have
Although
to
I do
end.
like starting at the first of the month, but we're not so rigid.
No, we're not so rigid.
Curiosity. What would it be like not to end on the last day of the month?
It would feel like it does today, and it feels just fine. Next week, we will have a brand new theme, and it's one that we picked out from everyone's submissions. I'm really excited about it. It's going to be great, and it'll continue the conversations that we're having here. And that's what I love about Morning Intentions. We have these themes, they're in their little segments, 1 month, few weeks, but they all do run together.
They do. And we have an amazing experience to share about this theme. And it was one of the very first emails we received. And when I saw it, I thought, that's it. I mean, I loved that theme from the minute I saw it. And so life went on, and we've been thinking about it, taking in the other suggestions that we've received. But that one was it for me for the next month. The other ones that we've received, which we really appreciate, thank you all, we're going to do later on in this year. But that one just was so perfect for where we are right now. And then this week, Ada and I had an experience that brought it all home for me. So it's solidified in my mind. Yes, that is the next theme. So we'll share about that on Monday.
Yes, that's Monday for today. We still have a couple more rapid fire reflection questions to finish our month up with. That is our reflection for this month. It is Reflection Friday.
What are you saying, Ada?
Well, it's Reflection Friday, but we're going to be asking each other some reflection questions.
Well, because this is about the art of enjoying life.
Yes, it is. And today's mini theme, the theme of the day, is looking forward.
So I will ask you a question. You'll ask me the same question. We'll give our answers. The reason we're doing this, though, is we want you to ask yourself these questions. So we're all in this together. So Ada and I are sharing our answers with you. And we would like you to spend some time over the weekend to think about the questions that we're asking one another today. The first one for you, Ada. If you were intentionally creating a life that you enjoy, what would you do more of?
I would do more rest. I noticed that this week I had some days where I didn't sleep all that well the night before. I was super tired, and it felt like this is a day I need to do some rest. I need some rest here. But of course, then I look at my responsibilities and say, no, that's not possible. So probably scheduling some rest.
I was just going to say, so how would you put more rest into your life?
Schedule it and not make it a by chance kind of thing.
Okay.
What's your answer?
I would do more of just what I shared the other day. I would do more spiritual studying, and I would read more. I read, but it's like on the fly for a certain,
You have a goal in mind.
like it could be for a certain client. Oh, this client is really struggling here. And I might read an entire book on something like that. But I would just like to be able to read more and study more because I'm a studier. And I have scheduled that in my life, but then my life got really busy.
All right, here's our next question. What would I do less of? So the same starting of the question, the same prefix. If I were intentionally creating a life I enjoy, what would I do less of?
I would not ruminate on the past.
Oh my goodness, that's my answer.
What?
That is my answer. You stole my answer. We didn't even talk about it. That was the exact answer I had.
I would not ruminate on the past. I spend way too much time ruminating on the past.
Yeah, my version of that, I wouldn't spend so much time in my head,
Oh,
particularly
okay.
about the past.
And I don't even know if I spent a lot of time, but that would be something that steals my joy.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely would stop ruminating on the past.
All right. We have the same answer for that one. What's the next question?
What is one small change I could make this week?
Probably for both of us, we can catch ourselves when we start hearing that voice in our heads, ruminating or getting lost up there. Check in and say, hold on now, stop it. What else could I do instead? What could I think about instead?
That's where I have been thinking. Even this morning, I had a chat with myself about the neural pathways in my brain, how they're so used to thinking about certain things.
I love when you describe your brain, you have to touch your head.
Yes,
The
I have
neural
to.
pathways in my brain.
Yes, and I'm used to thinking the same thing. And I'm bringing this up because I was listening to someone talking about healing our nervous system. And truly, when we think the same thoughts over and over again, which most of us do, then it's pretty much impossible to heal our nervous systems because remember, if we think something, our nervous system thinks it's happening. So, what we want to do with these ruminating thoughts, even Ada, is to make sure that when we catch ourselves, that we immediately stop ourselves and say, oh, 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 don't want to do that. Don't want to do that. What else could I think of that would be more peaceful? When I have been thinking about this, I will sometimes even just imagine Molly's face because she has a thing with you where she loves you to carry her. And then when you're carrying her, she loves me to give her kisses. And that's what she does when Ada and I take walks together. So sometimes just like envisioning Molly's face will help me get out of the ruminating thoughts. So we both could make that small change, which would be a huge change.
It would. And then another thing, something my mom taught me. And to know she has that uh-oh look on her face right now. There can get to be this point, not for everybody, but I can think for me, where my mom would say, if you have time to think about that, you're not working hard enough. And I think that there's a lot of truth in that. If we're not scheduling the rest, we're not taking the time to be intentional with our curiosity in the art of enjoying life, and we're just letting things happen, there's a bigger chance or a greater chance of things getting out of control. So then if we say, let's set up the schedule, let us set up the systems so this doesn't have to happen. We don't have to ruminate if we set our lives up. So maybe there's not enough time to ruminate because we're filling our lives with such great things.
Well, and that's where meditation and mindfulness come in.
And that's all it has to be.
You know, I love the Calm app and I listen to the Daily Calm every day. Often we're reminded simply like concentrating on wherever you feel the breath, like at the very tip of your nostrils. If that's where you feel your breath, to concentrate on where you feel the breath, and then you won't go into these thoughts. And if you feel yourself going into thoughts, then you just bring yourself back to where you feel the breath. Tricks like that, mindfulness, is what this is all about so that we don't get all wrapped up in worrying and fearing the future and ruminating about the past, because all of that will steal our joy.
Yep. And mindfulness is supposed to be a 24-hour practice, not just in a crisis.
Exactly. Okay, so the last one. What would make your ordinary days feel more meaningful, peaceful, or enjoyable?
What would make my ordinary days feel more meaningful, peaceful, and enjoyable are to ensure that I'm not sucking the fun out of them, just like we were talking about last week.
Like getting caught up in the little things.
Yeah, exactly. I think there are more times than not that I'm taking the fun out of my own day way more than anybody else. I don't have people coming and yelling at me, saying mean things, being unkind. I don't really have that in my life. So if I'm not having an enjoyable day, there is a huge, huge chance I'm doing it to myself.
That's a good realization. For me, it's a little more downtime. think if I had a little more downtime,
Scheduling that rest.
scheduling that rest. But see, what do you mean by rest? You can like go to bed? Like I don't do that. But
Watching a movie, having a nice barbecue, things that
oh, okay.
they don't really have value other than the joy of just because.
And connecting
And there's
and
the connection with the people that you invite over. There's the joy of cooking. Those types of things that don't have this end goal of make money. They don't have this end goal of get a chore done.
like you don't have to worry about a sense of accomplishment. You're just there for what it is, being present.
Exactly. And that's what I consider rest, not just sleep.
Oh, okay.
It might be sleep, but it doesn't have to be.
Okay. Well, I enjoyed this very much.
I did too. And I hope everyone answers these questions for yourselves. Here they are one more time. If I were intentionally creating a life I enjoy, what would I do more of? If I were intentionally creating a life I enjoy, what would I do less of? What is one small change I could make this week? And what would make my ordinary days feel more meaningful, peaceful, and enjoyable? Thank you all so much for joining us today, this week, and this month. Our day is better because you are part of our day. See you Monday.
See you then.
I'm wanting something more, and I'm ready to begin. A life of happiness awaits me. It starts today when I intend.